Gotta give me.
And you still got pie crust on your face, though.
Oh, dang.
You actually reached, bro.
All right, actually, no. Craig, do you mind if I just?
Hey, only me and Sharon saw you like
And the camera. And the camera.
There we go.
Say hello to YouTube.
Hey YouTubers, here at Newburn Channel for a new ad on.
Like and subscribe.
Please like and subscribe for your next sales tactics. 2 claps and a Sharon.
Sharon!
Just kidding. We actually discourage people to do so many sales because they get focused on making money short term, actively trading time for it. And then you can only trade so much time for money because there's only a limited time in the day.
Yep.
So how you guys doing? I just want to say, hey, it's Julian's #1 person. Julian's been in the business since 2019. And he got promoted into Denver, ran an office in Denver. It didn't work out. And he'll be humble and, you know, talk shit about himself, but he actually did very well in Denver. His dad had an incredible, a massive health condition, and Julian came back, and it didn't work out to stay in Denver, so we closed that company, and then messed around with a couple other companies here in Dallas, and then came back to open the one Sileo here, which I know you see this pin. I qualified for level 2 on Sileo, and today he broke his record. He actually is. Most companies fail the first year, and so today is year 1, and Julian's company's alive. So you know, give him a clap. So a lot of you guys, I just want to help you guys out because especially you're on AT&T and you've been going. By the way, you're doing a great job. You're on AT&T, like going from a phone program where you're doing like 5, 6. 7 yeses, 10 yeses a day, and then you go on AT&T where you know for a fact everyone's gonna say no the entire day, except for maybe one person. If you do 2, you're a high roller. It's a crazy thing, and most people quit. And if you guys haven't realized, most people did quit, or we had to, you know, recondition them into other positions because it is hard. It is a hard transition. You know, if you guys like, if I put Texas from Frontier and Carollos on TrueConnect, they would do 40 phones a day. It would take them about a month to get used to how bad the program is, and then start sucking, and go back to normal averages on TrueConnect, which would be 5 or 6 a day or whatever. But the first couple of days, they would do so well. And the reason why is because the way you look at the field really matters. So Esteban had these notes about this video, field hacks. I didn't know that you guys liked it so much. But there's a lot of things I can come up with to think about the field because I've been in the field longer than most of you. There's some of you guys here that are gonna break my record for sure, but that's not a good thing. I spent a long time in the field, and so I know all about being lazy in the field. I know how to get to the field, do enough sales with not a lot of work, and kind of like get by. I also know how to like do a lot of work and not make any sales because I was not good. The whole point of the field that you guys wanna realize, and we're gonna start with that, okay? So the first thing about it, and then we talk about this on the other video, is that the field is temporary. You need to look at the outcome and not the process. A lot of times people tell you focus on the process, trust the process. And I'm not saying to not do that, but you never started in the business to be in the field. The field is temporary. I just met Sydney here, and she was a teacher, and she's getting underpaid. She's overseeing 40 kids. We oversee here 50 of you. We can barely do that. Imagine if you were 10 years old. Even though a lot of you guys act 10 years old, overseeing 40 10-year-old kids would be like, I would say like 80 or 100 adults. So, and she had to leave the job for multiple reasons, but you know, one of them, this first thing I ask is they're underpaid. Like we're paying crappy money to the people that are developing children that are then later gonna, you know, run the deal. And so I feel feel like the teachers in schools should be the highest paid profession because they have the most important job, which is developing the next generation. Anyway, point being is the reason you started here is because of the outcome. Nobody started here to be in the field. People, like you guys are gonna see, dude, if you stay long enough, you're gonna see people that are right now listening on the crowd, they're gonna get promoted, they're gonna grab a team, we're gonna announce a city, they're gonna go to this city, and they're gonna run the city, and they're gonna be the manager, and they're gonna finish the training program, which is what it's meant to do. And it doesn't matter if you had a bad day yesterday or a good day yesterday, if you stick around long enough, you're gonna see it, and that's the outcome, okay? The goal is to start an office. Not to get to an office, you can get to an office, it's to start it. And the process doesn't matter. Like when I do a first round interview, none of you guys did a first round. Anybody here did a first round interview with me? No, right?
No, I did not.
Not really, right? Sharon, Julian, who did your first round interview?
I was a personal recruiter.
That's right. Julian was working at Olive Garden. We found him in Olive Garden. Underpaid too.
Found me under the table.
We're like, hey, you want an opportunity? He's like, hell yeah. Yes, please.
I'm tired of Bristol.
This business, this job doesn't make any sense. You should quit right now if all you focus on is the process, because the process really sucks. However, when you actually logically think about it, the process sucks for most things. Like everybody wants to have a six-pack and look really good, but going to the gym every day is kind of inconvenient. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of makes sense. It's kind of convenient. Everybody wants to. What's not inconvenient? Eating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eating feels good, right? Whataburger feels good. Texas is telling me like, dude, this is my issue right now. I'm literally, and I respect what she's going through because I remember right before assistant management, which is where I believe she's at, which is that final push. I went through the same thing. You know, I was in the field, but I was like actually running the office in the morning. I was in charge of all the conversations, what she's doing. I was in charge of the car rides. I was in charge of everybody's performance was underneath me. But then I still had to go in the field and crush my new leader, Leo, so he wouldn't get too cocky on me. Because so Leo would have to know that I can go in 2 hours and smoke him. But I've been working since 8 a.m. like actually working with my brain, not just like showing up here and taking a chair, like working. And she's like, dude, like I get to the field and I'm already like I already am at 7 hours of work. By the time I get to the field, I'm drained. And I remember having to like somebody give me the advice to eat better to protect my energy. It was the first time ever, as a 23-year-old kid, that somebody's like, Richard, what you eat matters so that you can perform. I'm like, wow. I'm like if I was an athlete or something, I'm here wearing a suit. And it was to go in the field. I'm like, wow. Now I started looking at the field as a performance position. Not necessarily as like a place where I try to do my best and do some sales like I looked at it the whole training program. Is I was looking at it as like, it's a place to perform. Like, dude, I saw a video from the Olympic team of the Russian ladies doing dance underwater. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about. But these like Russian girls dancing, they do like a whole thing, dancing underneath the water in a swimming pool. It's the craziest performance I've ever seen. I don't know what they eat out there. But anyway, point being is I respect that. So like looking at like eating conveniently and eating junk food and all that stuff really is easy. It actually takes more work, more thoughts to meal prep so that you can be effective. If I eat which is what I would like to eat, a double patty melt with large fries and 3 Whataburger spicy ketchups with like the crispy hash browns and a massive shake at the end, large. And then my next thing is I go in the field at 92 degrees for 8 hours. I'm not gonna be as effective than if I eat like a crispy salad with some chicken and you know, some teriyaki, whatever. Does that make sense? So again, all of it is looking at the outcome, okay? Most people tell you focus on the process. I'm just here to tell you focus on the outcome. The reason you started is for something that you don't have yet. So you need to keep that in the forefront of your mind. Does anybody have a door tracker that I can use to teach you my field hack? Can you give me a door tracker? So this is what's gonna change your life here, that especially, this might not apply to people that have been in the field for 1 week or less, because this only applies typically after you lose your enthusiasm, which is everybody after a week. So if you're new here, you're still pretty excited, it's because you're new, and that's okay. that happens in every job. That's not particular to this job. That also happens with your girlfriend. You're really excited and you wear your best stuff and you clean your car. Month 6 with your girlfriend, you're not cleaning your car so much. And same for the ladies. You know, day 1, lady is on time, best dress, whatever. But you know, month 5, ladies like, you know, ponytail up, like slippers, like the hairy slippers. You know the hairy slippers? Slippers that are, how do you call those, Yvonne? The fuzzy slippers is all ghetto. And they get in your car with the fuzzy slippers, that's not day 1. Would you agree? That's because excitement has worn out. Look. Maybe I offended somebody, my bad. This is true. This happens. Excitement always goes up after. So this is not for you if you're still excited. Remain excited. You know, a lot of people get promoted into leadership like Daniel in their moment of excitement. Very dangerous. I get very skeptical because we're promoting somebody into a leadership role. Leadership is when you're down here. So like if your performance is going to be like this, I'm interested in like, what do you do down there when you're being kicked? Typically, when you're being kicked in the, you're at the bottom of, you're not doing well. Like Robert and Moises, they come from this massive trip. We know they were going to crush it. We already knew. I'm excited to see how they do today after having 2 rough days and bouncing back. Because it's very easy at the top to be cocky and to be whatever and to be the top leader. It's at the bottom how you react. Typically, when you have a bad day at the field, that's also the same next day where your girlfriend gets mad at you and your mom sends you a job offer to work at the Hilton, and you get new fuzzy slippers, and somebody, and all your friends that you love that, hey, you haven't been around me, so I'm going to tell you to quit. Normally happens all in the best day. The day you made $570 like Shikari, people are like, what you doing, girl? And so like, oh, I want a job like that too. Does that make sense? We are interested in seeing how you are and how you react at the bottom. So this applies only for people that are no longer working off of excitement, and you're now having to use discipline, which is a different tank that you have to really draw energy from. And most people don't have enough fuel in, so hopefully this gives you fuel. So this track, does everybody use one of these?
Yes.
No.
Raise your hand if you don't.
Like for apartments?
For the field.
All of
Yeah.
Frontier doesn't use it.
Frontier doesn't use it. The Frontier doesn't use it because
We use it for apartments. Whenever we have houses, we use it.
Because you have sales rabbit on Frontier.
you have sales rabbit. So then you're gonna have to apply this somehow. So does sales rabbit do tracking for you?
Yes.
So you can do it there, I guess. But you should still do the math, okay? So normally, how many doors do you get assigned for you to knock on a day? 180, 120, 100, 200. What's the number, bro?
180 is different.
180?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna just do 100 because it's a simple math number, okay? In the field, 8 hours is really hard, okay? When you're in the field for 7 hours, it's really hard. So I want you to think about it like this, okay? If I'm in the field from 0 hours all the way to 7 hours, what are the chances during this whole period of time, what are the chances that I lose my attitude, I get frustrated? What are the chances that people say no to me? High. What are the chances I get very frustrated? High. Now, if you've been in the field for longer than a week, you realize you cannot avoid this. If you try to, the only way to avoid frustration, anybody knows? How do I avoid frustration in the field? Don't go in the field.
Yes.
It's true. You're not going to ever go in the field and work hard enough to not get frustrated. You're never, ever going to do it. You can have a great day. You'll still find frustration in that day. The only way to avoid frustration is to not do it, which is failing by default. So now you know you're going to be in the field for 7 hours. So the way I look at this is that I can't be in the field for 7 hours. 7 hours is too long of a thing. Tell me one thing that you do for 7 hours straight that you're really good at.
Sleep.
Not even.
I mean, I wish.
Not even. Some of you guys say you're good at sleep. When you come in the morning, it don't look like it. Just kidding. Emmanuel, what's up? Why are you so offended? 7 hours. Nobody's good at doing anything for 7 hours. Again, I want you to ask yourself, and you don't have to respond out loud. Can I perform? Ask yourself. Can I perform at my highest level? At my highest level, like it was do or die, like it was the last time ever. Can I perform at that level for the next 7 hours? What do you think is the answer? No. The answer, no. It's too long. So the way I looked at it is like, damn, I can't perform that for 7 hours. I got to cut that time. So instead, the hack here is instead of working one shift of 7 hours, by the way, you can tell this by, I'm going to work 7 shifts of not even 1 hour. I'm going to work 7 shifts of 50 minutes. So I'm only in the field for 50 minutes today. 50 minutes 7 times. I'm trying to trick my brain because I cannot avoid frustration. I'm in the field for 50 minutes, and now I'm gonna teach you how I would use this to help, okay? But I'm only in the field for 50 minutes. And now I ask myself, Richard, can I work in the field for 50 minutes? Can I work to my max? Now ask yourself, if you're Eddie, I would say, hey Eddie, can I work in the field to my maximum potential for just 50 minutes? Can I give it all for just not even an hour, from 1 to 1:50 p.m.? Can I? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so I can do that. Now what I do is I'm gonna plan a 10-minute break. And hear me with mature ears here. Okay? My brain works like this. I used to smoke. I think that's why I did it. Now I don't smoke, so it's irrelevant. But I used to plan a smoke break after 50 minutes, and I would be like, you know what? It doesn't matter how hard I work. I'm lazy by nature. You might not think so, but I'm lazy. I know you're lazy too. Nobody's like wants to exhaust themselves. We all want to rest, but we want to rest and do well too. We don't want to rest and suck, right? So I want to do well and then rest, and I want to feel good about my rest. So I'm going to schedule a 10-minute break, maybe 5 minutes, okay? But in my brain, I'm like, Richard, can I work? And at this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my phone away. Some of you with the sales drive, it might be tricking your phone. You need to put notifications out, or you got to do something so the phone isn't distracting you. Because the phone is a big distraction. I'm not checking my WhatsApp. I'll check my WhatsApp during my 10-minute break, and I'll post my emojis then. But I'm not like checking my WhatsApp all the time. I just ask myself, hey Olivia, can I work for 50 minutes straight and give it my all? And I want you to ask yourself this question today. Say, hey, if I told you you're gonna make a 6-figure income, which is like half of what people in our team are making more than 6 figures. They're making $100,000 as the minimum somebody's making when they make it into management, guys. It's only $2,000 a week. If you do the math, okay, Julian gets paid about $170 every time you sell Frontier. Every time you sell AT&T, he gets paid $170. Every time you sell AT&T after you got paid. So if they did 17 yesterday, let's say it's 15. Somebody have quick math for me? 17 times 15? Huh? 850? Is that right?
Yeah, 850.
1850. But Julian made $1,850 yesterday. And the team is starting out. Now he has to pay expenses, so maybe 40% of that is expenses. Let's say he made 1,000. How many days a week do we work?
6.
So how much is that in a week?
6,000.
$6,000 a week is $300,000 a year. $300,000 a year. $300,000 a year. Yes, sir.
It's more.
It's-
No, 170 times 15 is 2,550.
Wow. Somebody have a back calculator. Okay. $2,500. Listen. Hey, wait. $2,500 in one day. You're missing the whole point. Like until you think this is possible, you're not gonna put in the work. Now I gotta ask myself, because now I believe this. And dude, go to Julian and one-on-one and ask him, like, show me show me. And he'll show you. I'll show you. Okay? $2,500 in one day. Let's say it's half. Let's say it's only $1,250 a day. That's $6,000 a week. If AT&T, who you guys right now, with all due respect, because there's not enough people, you guys suck. There's not enough people. Like, we did how many Frontiers? 32? Do the math. Okay? I mean, we get paid a little less, but it's the same. Okay? If somebody can make $6,000 a day, I believe it. It's just math. You gotta believe it. Now you gotta ask yourself. Now flip the question. Can I work for 50 minutes as somebody that got paid $6,000 last week? Now I gotta ask myself. I gotta work for 50 minutes like somebody that's getting paid $6,000 a week. If I put a camera to follow you, does it look like you get paid $6,000 a week? And I remember asking myself that question. And the answer was no. I'm like, nah. It looks like I'm making barely $600. Because I know the truth. You know the truth of yourself. You know the truth. Only you know the truth. Maybe your upline, whoever's there with you, customers know the truth. You know the truth. The numbers know the truth. Your paycheck knows the truth. We know the truth when we see the results. But you gotta ask yourself, does it look like, if I was to be judged by a stranger, does it look like I'm making $6,000 a week or $600? So now, my answer for me was like, it looks like I'm making no money. if you judge me by not just like, hey, it would appear to you that I'm kind of broke. And so now I realize I got to change that. I got to work for 50 minutes, and I'm going to exhaust myself. I would put my phone away. I would just be just me on the paper, and I would work for 50 minutes straight, and I would put a timer on my phone to go off, and I would take a minute, and I would take a 10-minute break. And if I would do a sale, I would do a sale. But does everybody believe if I let you in the field for an hour, do you believe you could do a sale in that hour? Yes. So now I'm asking myself, can I do a sale in 1 hour? Yes. All my goal is to do one sale. Hopefully I can make a sale in 1 hour. 2 would be crazy. 2 would be crazy, but I can do one sale. Can everybody agree? Can I make one sale in an hour? Say yes. Yes. I can make a sale in an hour, 50 minutes. Okay? So all my goal is to talk to as many people as possible. Hopefully I find a sale in an hour, but if not, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to try 7 times today. I'm going to try 7 times today. Okay? So I work from 1 to 1:50 p.m. and then I take a little break. Dude, in that break, if I can squeeze, for me, I like to get on social media. I want some Dave Chappelle. I want some black jokes. I like those. It makes me laugh. Sorry about that. That's just me. Doesn't have to be you. Doesn't have to be you. You can watch your thing. Okay? That's just me. Okay? Julian sent me a video of say the word decide. Say the word decide in a sentence. Keisha told me. It's funny. And so that's just me. Now I start. But then I go back. I didn't make a sale. I'm like, that's fine. I'm gonna go work my hardest. And dude, I promise you, the customers started at. This is how you know you hacked the field. The customer starts asking like, what do you do? They're not telling me no right away. They're like, what do you do? Because by the time they open the door, I'm at the next house. You know if this has happened to you. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting because I'm no longer worried. That's when you move. That's when you move from having hope in the field to believing it. That's because I'm not waiting on this customer. I'm not gonna see if they're home. I don't care. I'm getting I gotta look like I'm working for $6,000 this week, and I only got 50 minutes. And here's how I go into this. Okay, I know I need to do. It's just all math. I need to do 100 doors in a day. Let's say it's 100. Whatever leads you get. So how many times do I want to go around these 100 doors? Twice, because I got to do 2 laps. So by what time do I want to start my second lap?
5:30.
Let's say it's 6. 6 to 8 is the perfect second lap. So that means I got to finish for the first time. The first time I got to finish door 100 at what time?
5:58.
At 5:45, let's say, right? So I got. Let's say I start at 1, and again, you got to change the math. You got to do the math daily because you got to know what time you knock door 1. So let's say that's just for math's sake. Let's say that's 1 p.m. For math's sake, let's say I do the last door at 6 p.m. Why? Because at 6:01, I want to start my second lap, which is door 1. Everybody follow?
Yeah.
I never did this. I spent a year in the field without doing this. I would spend all my lunch breaks doing this because I am hacking this field. I am no longer being tricked by the field. I saw the field take all my friends. All my friends left, bro. It's like the Cookie Monster. The field is mean. The field doesn't give 2 craps. The field will filter 90% of you to go get a normal job. 90% of you will go in the field and then will go and land a normal job. And then 10% of you will make $6,000 a week. Maybe 8. Dude, we got some guys making $10,000 a week. And then we got some guys making $1,500 a week. But you'll make above average money, but 90% of you won't. And I was looking at that. And I started in the office, and my boy Barry trained me into leadership. Barry even became my roommate. Barry let me stay and sleep on his couch for 9 months. Barry was gone. After 5 months, Barry was gone. And Barry was a good leader. And I was like, wow, I no longer have to pass Barry, I guess, because Barry quit. And then I worked with Michael Akers. Michael Akers had 4 leaders. I had 1. Michael Akers is confident. He's got the dreads. He's showing me Dave Chappelle. Michael Akers is crushing the business. Michael Akers has 4 leaders. I got 1. Then I got 2. Then I got 3. He had 5. Then he goes down to 2 because 3 of them quit. Then I go up to 4. And then Michael, all of a sudden, one day, no call, no shows after a year and a half in the business. The field took him. Took him. And one time I felt I was so behind Michael. I felt I had to wait till Michael get promoted. For me to access the management. I thought I had to do that. You think you gotta wait for Carollos to get promoted. And that's not true. And then Michael one day was gone. And then Sasha.
Oh, God.
And Sasha was, I'm 23, Sasha's like 29, mature. She's like Chang's best friend. I'm like, I hate you, I want to be the owner's best friend. And she's like, she's got the swag, she's got guys on her team, she's got gals, she's got white people, black people, she's got all kinds of diversity in her team. Everyone likes her. My team was all like little crazy little money fucks like me. They're all like, you know, just weird and just like me, because you attract who you are. You attract who you are. There's no Mexicans that live in Colorado until Julian showed up there, and then they all work for him. Because you attract, when your level of leadership is low, your team looks exactly like you. And when your level of leadership is high, your team is diverse and you attract everyone. That's why Carolus' first hire is the only other person from Egypt that you know. Who was Tony. And then he started growing. You laugh, but this is true. When your leadership grows, then it's like a lid that pops, and now you're able to influence more people. But when you're Mexican and you start in leadership, you hire Mexican people.
Yes.
And when you're black, you hire black people, and when you're white, you hire white. And this is not about race. It's just about opening your eyes and having common sense, okay? So I never did this for a year, and I realized the owner that goes in the field, they take 20 minutes, not in the field, to go smack it and prepare for it. And I realized, the owner would take, I was watching people study successful people. They would take a lap around the apartment first and decide where they're gonna go. Because they're not wasting any time in between, where do I go later? Anybody wasted some time? Like, where do I go? What's my street? It's called being not prepared. I would spend an extra 2 minutes to specifically study my area. And I knew I needed to be at 1242 Meadow Street at 6 p.m. I knew I needed to be at that door at 6 p.m. And I knew I had from 1 to 6 to get there. And I had to knock all 100 doors. And now I know I have my 50-minute blocks. Now I got from 1 to 6 to do how many doors? 100. So from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., so what's the middle between, that's 5 hours. What's the middle? 2 hours and a half, right? What's 1 p.m. plus 2 hours and a half, what time am I?
3:30.
So at 3:30, and again, if you don't know how to do this, you need to find out. This is the hack, okay? At 3:30, what door do I gotta be? 50, and I would write down next to 50, and I would find what's door 50, and I would put it on my leads or on my sales rabbit or on my sheet. At 3:30, I gotta be at 1342, glass clock door, whatever street. It's crazy. Some street out there. There's some streets out there that are crazy. Okay, so now I know. That's 2.5 hours. Does that make sense? All my goal is, now you see how now my goal is not to be in the field like hopefully I do well. My goal is I gotta get to 1342 Glasscock Road at 3:30 p.m. because that's door 50. So I'm not waiting. Okay, so now what's half of 50? 25. So now I gotta be, where's my door 25? Anybody can help me calculate. What's the middle? What's 2.5 hours is my time block now? From 1 to 3:30. It's 2.5 hours. Okay, that's 150 minutes. Everybody follow? What's half of 150 minutes? 75 minutes is 1 hour and 15 minutes. Everybody follow? Okay, so I'm like 1 hour and 15 minutes. I gotta be at door 25. So what time would that be?
2:15.
So at 2:15 p.m., I gotta be at 1406, whatever, so street. I would break it down to the minute because I want no time to think because my brain will get frustrated. You're going in the field like, hopefully I do well today. Oh my God, until 7. And the time, you look at the time, it almost looks like it's going backwards. When you're having a tough day, it almost looks like time is going backwards. When I started doing this, you know what I realized is I was always behind. I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna get there at 2:15 because I'm making a stupid sale here. And I'm like, dude, it's 2:12 and I'm at door 8. But that's good. Does that make sense? Now I'm at door 8 and it's 2:12. I got 3 minutes to get to door 25. So when I'm knocking the door and they don't answer, I don't care. It's I noticed this. This is not my reaction, okay? I'm not just crazy. I almost was getting upset, I realized, when people would answer, and I was like, fuck. My reaction to the person is like, you're gonna make me late. You better get it. But I didn't care because now the customer, you ever had this? The customer opens the door and they're looking for you because you're at the next door? Does that never happen? Do they not come outside?
Yeah.
Isn't it easier when they come outside versus you having to like, hey, and they crack open. What's
Yeah.
easier? When they're outside, when it's a car, right? When the garage door is open, yes or no?
Yes.
A lot easier than when you have to talk to the ring camera or to the front door, yes or no?
Yeah.
So I realized it's almost a hack. I almost just gotta leave to make sure they come out. Dude, if they're interested, if they're curious, I'm looking for lookers. If they're curious, they're gonna come out. Hey, what did you want? Because they know you're not desperate. Why? Because you're not there. You're not there, so you're not desperate. And I realized, wow, this is just an attitude that I had. A door-to-door person does not do this. A door-to-door professional, a person that has a bigger goal in mind, is trying to hack the field. And what that means is I'm hacking my brain. You can break this down by the minute. At 2:15, I'm at door, what did I say? 25. I'm at door 25. Now think about it reasonably. Do you think you can do 25 doors in 1 hour and 15 minutes?
Yeah.
And you know it's not a specific math. It's not just 2 minutes per door, because one door's going to open up and take a conversation, take more time. It evens out. But now, let's break it down to half of that. So what's middle of 25? It would be 12 doors. 12 doors. What's 75 minutes divided by 2? 37 minutes, right? 37? 36 minutes. So that means by 1:36 p.m., in the first 36 minutes, I got to be at door 12. Does that sound easy?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm looking at my 50-minute blocks. And I'm like, dude, by door, I would make the math. I'm like, okay, by minute 50, I should be at door 4, whatever the door is. Do you understand how to make this math? If not, I'll do it for you. Now I just realized, okay, Richard, you gotta be, your only goal today is by 1:50, you gotta be at this door. It's my only goal. This is a numbers game. Like, all of you guys that are doing zero, you're having a couple bad days, just double the numbers. Just go get big numbers out there. Go get big numbers. Work more people. Don't worry so much if they say yes or no. Like, people will say yes or no. Just look at the office. We did so many sales. People do this. People get the sales. Just go get more chances, more opportunities. And by the way, when you do this, it almost breaks down to zero the amount of time you're frustrated because you don't have time. And so then I noticed, I never went back to the field without doing this. I would never go in the field just like, see how it goes. Because I'm not trying to make that's what a person that makes $600 a week does. Like, hopefully today, Carlos gives me good training today. Yeah, hopefully we're in a good area. You might even get to level 2 like that. A person that makes $6,000 a week would look at your job a lot different, yes or no?
Yeah.
And that's the owner of the company. And you're applying to be the owner of the company. I would recommend you crack the code. So now I'm looking at, and again, I'm just tricking my brain because I know I'm negative and lazy. Most of you are trying to fight your upline, telling them that you're positive and that your attitude's fine. Here am I, the owner, I'm telling you, I'm negative and lazy. I just admit it. And I'm just going to work around it. I need my brain to know at 150, I don't know how you work, but for me, if I can tell my brain, like, it's 1, okay, I'm going to the field, I'm going to take a break in 50 minutes. Like, my brain's like, cool, I can work 50 minutes to my strongest. Everyone here can work 50 minutes to their strongest, but not 7 hours. You can try. Dude, I remember trying to push this to 2 hours and it stopped working. I'm just like a little bitch. I need 50 minutes. I need 50 minutes and then a break. 50 minutes and I sit on the curb. 50 minutes, 50 minutes, 50 minutes. And I wouldn't get a sale for most of my 50-minute blocks, but the sale would always come. Why? Because I was focused on just working as much as I could into 50 minutes. And you can use this. And I would put here, I would circle door 50, door 25, door 12, and I would realize that I would be pretty stupid not to do 12 doors in 36 minutes. That's 3 minutes for each door. And you know there's no answers that take like 2 seconds. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So then I would mark door 75, and I would, dude, sometimes I remember getting to like 6 o'clock, and it's like, dude, I need to start my second lap, and I'm at door 80. And I'm like, damn, I'm like 20 doors behind. But that's all in my mind. You know what's not in my mind?
Negativity.
Negativity. People saying no. All that's in my mind is like, dude, I'm 20 doors behind. I gotta get. And like the customer's talking to me and telling me her stories from World War I and how crazy her life is. And I'm like, sorry, ma'am, I gotta go. Are you interested or what? Oh, I want to get it later. You gotta get it right now, because if you get it later, you don't get me. You get it right now. I'll be your best customer service person ever. Get it right now. And I would try one more time. I'd be a little more pushy, but genuine. I'm like, just, you want to get it or not? I gotta go. And sometimes I'll be like, sure. I'm like, yes. Now I'm good to be late, 20 doors. But I'm tricking myself. I'm tricking myself. I'm working 50 minutes. I never work for 7 hours. I still keep this thing to this day. I got a little kitchen timer in my office. If you've seen it, if you pay attention. I can't work for 2 hours straight. It's too much. It's too much to work at my highest performance. Nobody does 3-hour workouts in the gym. They do 1-hour workouts, 30-minute workouts, 45-minute workouts. People do their best on small time frames. You are gonna make $6 grand a week, or you should look at yourself like you're not any dumber than Julian. And he's gonna make $2,500 in one day. You should look at it, at least you should say to yourself, I can do half. I can do half. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So when you go in the field, how prepared are you? And you can be a new person today and use this and skip. Dude, you can be a new person and you do this every day and you will skip 5 months of going through the field clueless. Just, you know what it takes? It takes time. It takes being intentional. It takes bugging Martin if my leads are not wherever, like if I'm not understanding the territory. You don't just show up to the territory and whatever. I need to have a plan every day. Again, same thing. If I told you, hey, I'm gonna pay you, Shataya, I'm gonna pay you on Friday $6,000 to do this job. And I gave you these leads and you gotta knock them and you gotta get as many sales as you can. Would you do more than what you're doing now? Yes. And so do that. And I'm telling you, most of what you do is not during the time that you're in the field, it's before and after. It's if I got paid $6,000, you think I would intentionally almost, and this might sound crazy, borderline committed to you, but I mean, hey, for $6 grand a week, you got me committed. That's what I used to think. You think I would almost intentionally not eat some things at certain times of the night because I'm thinking about tomorrow? You think I would for $6 grand a week? Mm-hmm. I would. You might be like, Richard, you're crazy. I thought I was just getting a job. I just wanted my paycheck on Friday, and that's fine. I was trying to make $6 grand a week when it just took me a year. I would recommend it didn't take you a year to realize that. So I would eat based on how am I gonna do. I would rest. I would go to bed earlier. I hated going to bed early. I'm like the guy on the couch, you know, I pass out until it's 2 in the morning and then I'm like, ugh, and then walk to bed. No longer. Now I'm going to bed because I'm like, I gotta perform tomorrow. I can't afford, my girlfriend, well, I had a girlfriend in Spain and I was here. My girlfriend would like, I'm like, dude, I'm not talking to you tonight. I can't, no, we're like in a weird spot, like, no. Like, I cannot be, like, I need to talk to you literally Saturday. You might think I'm crazy. Like, I'll talk to you Saturday because I have, like, Sunday to, like, deal with crap and I don't have to be in the field. To that level. Because the field is super important to be consistent. I was telling Joseph, if you just did 2 every day, 2 every day, 2 every day, 2 every day, every day, nobody does that. But if you just did 2 every day, you would be out of the field in management in 4 months, in 16 weeks. Because you would do enough interviews, people would start, and they would learn to do what?
2 a day.
Every day. And that's it, and you would get promoted. The problem is you're getting consistent. You do 2 a day, then you go through a bad week, then you go through a good week, and you never learn, and then you keep trying to practice the pitch. And the pitch isn't the reason why people do 2 a day. It's this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So what I want you guys to do is talk to your upline and say, how much am I preparing? Like, somebody's going in the field like, let's see how we do today, and somebody else knows at what street and at what time they gotta be at, 1:36 p.m. Who's gonna do better? Because I know 2 is a good day on Frontier, isn't it? Yeah. 3 and above is you're crazy good, right? So 2 is great. 1's decent, right? If you just get 1, you know what I understood is if I only get 1 yes, that means every single person from 1 to 7, every single human being is going to tell me no. And that, no matter how strong you are, no matter from where you're from, that you'll pay a toll. You're surrounded by negativity all day, like literally verbal negatives to your face. Like you might be that girl that you never got rejected, you always dated whoever you wanted until you showed up at this job and you get 39 no's a day. And it's hard. It'll humble you. And so unless you learn to like deal with that and break it into 50-minute blocks, I'm looking forward to my Dave Chappelle video at 1:50. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm looking forward to my Dave Chappelle. I might FaceTime somebody. I'm like on my 10-minute break. I embrace it. I put my phone back at 2 o'clock. I'm like, all right, Richard. From 2 to 2:50, phone out. No, I put airplane mode. No, I'm not looking at it. And I I literally physically prepare to work as hard as I can because I know it's just 50 minutes. And dude, that repeated over weeks and months, I realized it was a method to not be negative. And dude, you might go through a really tough period. If you're really struggling in the field, break it down to 30 minutes. I never had to get that low, but if you're like really struggling, just do 30 minutes. 30 minutes, do 5. 30 minutes, stop 5. But you do have to do one thing. You have to, one commitment is for the whatever period of time you decide to work, it's gotta be a battle against yourself to work the hardest you've ever seen anyone work. A stranger should stop by and be like, who is that? What is wrong with them? A person opening the door should be like, you need water? Are you okay? And you should be like, yeah, this is just who I am, this is what I do. They should freak out and be like, I've never seen a door-to-door person work that hard. And guess what? It's because you're not a door-to-door person.
Yeah.
Because you're focused on the outcome, not on the process. Most door-to-door people they see, that's what they do. They do door-to-door solar, 1 or 2 sales a month for the rest of their career going door-to-door. They make 150 grand a year, 300 grand a year. But they guess what? They got the Segways, they got the shorts, they got the tan, because they're door-to-door people. I'm not a door-to-door person. I'm hacking the whole thing. So in 18 weeks, I'm making $6,000 a week, $5,000 a week, $3,000 a week, because that's what Frontier's paying us to do. That's what AT&T's paying you to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So talk to Sharon, he's really good at this. Okay? Break down your day into periods, especially if you struggle with negativity, which you all do. We all do. Cool?
Yes.
You guys think you can use it?
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna go on break. It's 12:39, so we'll be back at 1:10 for break. 1, 2, 3, break!